Yo guys, another one here. Now, a few people in the comment section said, "Bro, why didn't you join the army? Or why don't you join the army?" Well, I'll tell you one thing there, yeah. All I wanted to do ever since I was a baby and I was a kid was be in the army. That's all I ever wanted to do. You know what I mean? That was all I was planning on ever doing, and all I wanted to do. Now, my great granddad Edward, who was in World War II, he was a desert rat. That's my mum's granddad, and I just always had a drive to be a soldier, to go in the army, to do it. Yeah. I wasn't interested really too much about the Royal Marines or whatever. You know what I mean? Water wasn't really my thing. But I always had this ambition to do it. Now, a few of my pals went in, and there was a lad local from my area, Liam Morn, who I knew personally. I think he was the youngest ever lad to ever be killed in Afghanistan, Helmand province. Might have seen posters and parades with him and what have you, put everywhere over the internet before. God bless him, lost his life in Helmand province. But my best friend at school, Zane Carter, great kid, he went out up there to Helmand and he stood on an IED, and he blew all his leg up and all his sides and all his leg and what have you. And he's not been the same man since. Something like that don't leave you. And obviously he was honourably discharged. Gets a good pension off the army itself. But even he says they've tried cutting his money and tried stopping his money. He's had to fight for it to keep it going, which I think is wrong. You know what I mean? If you travel 10,000 miles, travel thousands of miles away to the other end of the world, fight for your country and get blown up and you got to fight for your own money, is disgraceful. But yeah, I've always wanted to do it. And guys, and you know what? When I come out of prison, a couple of months ago, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking about just doing it then. I was thinking about trying and just getting straight into it, getting my basic training done. And I always wanted to go into Paris. You know what I mean? Give the Paris a go. And I know after 3 years of being in Paris, you get selected for SAS trials. And I've always wanted to do it. I've always wanted to push myself. You know what I mean? And try it. And you know what? It's always there for a rainy day now. Obviously, I don't know how old it is now for legal requirement to get into Paris and whatever. But listen, it plays on my mind all the time. I just think sometimes, should I just do it now? I'll just go straight there now and sign up. But then obviously, there's another side of me what thinks, why am I travelling thousands of miles away and dying, yeah? And people dying for this ridiculous government what we've got, yeah? You can die on your own doorstep. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's true what I'm saying. You got hate preachers on every corner of London. You can die on your own doorstep. God bless Lee Rigby. What happened to Lee Rigby? You know what I mean? God bless him. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's the only thing what's off-putting. You know what I mean? To make Great Britain great again. Like in, obviously, World War II, in the era of Churchill, our country was immense. We was known as the heroes. We was known as the torch of the world. The ones that stood up to Nazi Germany. This little tiny island went against a fantastic army what basically took over Europe in no time. We was the only ones going against them. And then until Japan bombed Pearl Harbor and America stepped in. Yeah. And it was a real fighting chance. And then they had it on all angles where the Germans messed up when obviously started bombing the Soviet Union. They took too many wars on too many fronts. Now, if Nazi Germany would have stuck to the plan, one step at a time, and not bit off too much they couldn't chew, and Japan, their allies, bombing Pearl Harbor, then hey, we could all be speaking German today, because they had a fantastic army and it was fantastically run. And there is no taking it away from that. We can't stand Nazis, you know what I mean? But that's God's honest truth. They obviously knew what they was on with. But yeah, it's just one of them things now. Still eats away at me. You know what I mean? But I can't. You know what I mean? But I still stick by what I say. You know what I mean? Why do you have to travel to the other end of the world? You know, fight for a rogue cause when you could die on your own doorstep? And there's always soldiers getting penalised, always getting slagged off. And then you got Sunak cutting all the soldiers, cutting down our armed forces, when Russia's getting stronger and stronger every second of the day. So is China. You know what I mean? It's like you don't really see no drive or enthusiasm or love for from our own government, our own government for our own armed forces. You know what I mean? Look at USA. Got the most money in the world in their army. Best superpower ever. Most nuclear bombs. They take pride in it. They take pride in their army. The Pentagon. You know what I mean? But don't get me wrong, we've got the SAS. The SAS is the #1 most elite fighting force in the world. By far. You know what I mean? Obviously, you've got equivalent America to the SEALs and to their Navy SEALs. And you've got obviously the equivalent Russians to their Spetsnaz. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's a funny one. Don't get me wrong. Listen, if things go wrong in my life there or whatever, and it's always an option. I'm one of them guys. I'll act on an impulse. I will just go and I'll just sign up. 1,000,000%. I mean, I love for it. I mean, it's one of the things. Do you know when you watch it as well with when it used to be Ant Middleton and that with the SAS trials when Tony Bellew was on? You know what I mean? Awesome. You know what I mean? But what a life to live, but be the real deal. Trust me. So, but yeah. While we're on the subject there, I want to talk about it there. Well, what a major disgusting part that was with Lee Rigby. You know what I mean? Soldier, fights for his country, returning home. That's London for you. And look what they did. They butchered him live on camera. 2 horrible, horrible scumbags. I mean, got life in jail. One of them's triple cat A in Belmarsh. I mean, I forgot his name. You know what I mean? But horrible, and he was just, it like nothing to him, or he was just talking on camera like it was nothing. Just, yeah, let this be a lesson, nice and calm. It makes you think how many other people have done that to and got away with. Because you don't just go off and murder a soldier on the streets like that. You just talk that calm like normal. How many murders has he got away with? You know what I mean? Who's living next door to you in these places? You know what I'm saying? London needs a very big shot. It needs, like I said, vote Tommy Robinson, mate. Vote Tommy Robinson and get behind Nigel Farage as well. You know what I mean? Because he speaks a lot of sense. So yeah, thought I'd give you the uptake on that, and God bless you, Lee Rigby. Much love.